All right, first let me show you the riff. Okay, so I think the most important thing to kind of consider with this is my Axure guitar settings. And so here, inside of Axure, you can see that my input is pretty low, my pick attack is off, my chugs are off, and my release is still kind of up. What I found with Axure is if you turn your release down, then you're going to start to hear some choppiness in the samples. And so make sure that you leave this up. But with the chugs and the pick attack, I don't need any of that because I really want some light playing. You know, a lot of my clean stuff is just kind of plucks and maybe some chords, some like strummed chords. And so, you know, that's another thing. But also keep in mind that you do have neck and bridge samples in here. And so, you know, I would experiment with that as well. For my tone, I'm using Gojira on the storytelling preset. However, I made some changes to it. You know, I tweaked it a little bit here. So I could show you that here. Here's my EQ, and I'm also using this here, the on the shimmer setting. And so that's basically my guitar tone. The other thing that I added was Blurred by Linear Sounds. This is a really cool sounding reverb. And you can see I'm using the Thriller Guitars preset. I definitely tweaked it. Cool thing about this plugin is it's, you know, everything is right here. So tweaking is really fun. They have these cool little algorithms here that you can kind of mess with. And what's cool is you could see at the top left there, it tells you what everything is. Same thing when you go into color mode, it tells you exactly what these are. And so really fun sounding plugin. I love what it's doing to the tone. I'll show you what it sounds like before and after. This is off. This is on. Really awesome plugin. Now, they actually gave me a discount code for 10% off. It's just ChrisBadan10. It'll get you 10% off. It's an affiliate link. And so, you know, you'll get 10% off and you'll be helping your boy. So check it out. Next, I want to talk about the velocities. So with the Axure guitar and their velocities, in order to get that really clean and light picked sounding tone with Axure, you're going to want to stay below 43. Anything below 43, you're going to be getting that tone. Just to give you an example, and brace your ears, if I go up to about 45, so it's a pretty hard pick. But again, if I go down to 43, that one was almost hard to hear, but I'll hit it again here. 42. These ones are at 37. And so make sure that you stay pretty low on these if you want that sort of sound. All right, let's see what else that we can come up with. So I actually have this Pigments preset here that I'm using. So I want to immediately come up with some sort of bass idea. Okay, so right now, what I'm doing, I'm trying to come up with some sort of rhythm. Everything's going to stay on the same key, and then from there I'll start to change some things around when I feel like I got a pretty cool rhythm. I really let my intuition kind of tell me where it wants to go. But a lot of times, I don't try to force any which direction. I will just start adding notes, long, short, and just start to pile them up. And then as soon as I hit play with a click, I start to feel this groove that I am hearing in my head. And so I'll try my best to get there. Doesn't always end up exactly what I hear in my head. I'm going to stop here and then I'm going to put it immediately on the drums, because as soon as I start to add that snare groove in there, then you really start to evolve this riff, because I notice whenever I start to, the quicker that I can get to the drums or the guitar, then it almost promotes me going back to the bass and making these changes, because whatever I did on the drums Okay, so for me, immediately, what I'm hearing, let me change the color. What I'm hearing is ga, ga, ga. I'm immediately going to go into the China because I feel like with the China, it just adds that right amount of sustain. And I know a lot of you love China, and so let's go. So I already feel like I'm like going on an adventure somewhere, which is sick, which is something I love to try to go for. And so without really diving into the drums too far yet, I want to put this on my guitars to see where this takes us. Okay, so I'm already hearing things that I want to add. All right, I'm going to start to add some, we're going to do sustain alt pick, palm mute alt pick, of course. Sweet. Now I'm starting to hear some drum stuff. Let's go back to the drums and start to add a few more things. Maybe a left crash. I'm pretty hard here. And then we can start to think about some easy ghost notes that we can definitely grab. I always like to do a double snare, snare, kick, snare. My favorite thing. So ghost, ghost, kick, snare, should we say. Okay, so that riff that happens on that second part, I want to do some double kicks there. This one here. I'm not really liking what the riff is doing, but I'm not too worried about it right now. It's just the idea of there's going to be something that happens there. And so I'm going to have these kicks probably every time there. Okay, so again, low-hanging fruit. We have our basic idea here. So I want some sort of synth here. We're going to grab BA1 for now to see what sort of ideas we have here. Yeah, so this is a nice little layer here. I added some blurred. And what's cool about all these sounds is they, it's not for just this one part. What I like to do is I like to recycle a lot of these parts to kind of stay in the same theme. And so this is going to be nice to go into our next section here. So one thing I do notice is our guitars are kind of missing. And so I feel like this part is a little too dense for our clean guitars. However, this could always be for the next section, right? And so I'm going to keep my clean guitars there. However, I think I'm going to try to put this MIDI on something else. We could see what happens. All right, let's try to mess with BA1. Nice. Just from this stuff here, I can start to think about an arrangement. And so for me, I really love when the arrangement starts down pretty low. Then I could start to filter some stuff in here. Da, da. Maybe I can have this start an octave lower. Actually, I just want to do this part again one more time. I want to turn this on here, but I want it to be off here. Okay, so this is nice for a little intro here. I actually want this to probably go another one, but I think what I probably will do is I will mute these for now, and then I'm also going to start on probably like the right hit here. Okay, this is very interesting. So I went to the China here, but I'm feeling like, honestly, I added that other part, but I'm thinking that I might be able to start a verse right here. So as you can see, we have a little bit of we started an arrangement here, which is good. If you want to see how this song progresses, then I'll probably be messing with it later today on stream if you're here for the YouTube premiere. If you're not here for the YouTube premiere, then what I try to do is I try to make the thumbnail of my live stream similar to the thumbnail of this video. This is where we got so far. It's a very basic idea, but what's cool is we already have a little bit of an arrangement. We started an arrangement, and right now it's just adding and removing parts. This is very similar to writing like hip hop beats and stuff like that. Is you have these amounts of parts, then you start to come up with an arrangement, and then this arrangement will inspire new parts and new ideas. And so again, that's why I feel like these moments are so crucial, because you're just throwing things into this pot and constantly doing the little taste tests, right? And as you're doing the taste test, you're like, oh, it needs a little bit more salt, or it needs another synth layer, or it needs, maybe this guitar can do this here. And so again, this is where we got so far. It's not much, but it's the perfect starting point, because now sky's the limit, you know? Dudes, again, this is a practice in writing songs fast, thinking fast, getting ideas out fast. Dude, thanks so much for hanging out with me. I appreciate you. Hopefully you learned some stuff. If you have any ideas for any sort of other types of videos that you want to see, let me know. I try to do this every single Tuesday. We come up with a video, but I'm also streaming Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays on Twitch and on YouTube. And so come hang out with me. Would love to chill. And again, you can ask more questions about this or any other song. But again, appreciate you, and we shall see you next time. Have a good one.